was actually born here in Toronto, and for me, it's really been able to see the growth of Toronto since I've been growing up. Toronto is a big global city, and one of the thriving sectors, where I've seen a lot of people really benefit and get a lot of opportunities, whether it's in the skilled trades or starting their own businesses, has been in construction. We've been on a huge boom in construction over the last 10, 20 years in Toronto. And so this really created a huge demand for people and for workers to be able to help to build the infrastructure, whether it's housing, transit, healthcare. As we get more population, we need infrastructure to continue to also develop as well. And so, as an organization, the Toronto Community Benefits Network, we actually started in 2013 when the provincial government announced that they were going to be building, at the time, was about $6 billion transit project called the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. How many of you are familiar with the Eglinton Crosstown project? I know we've been waiting many years for it to actually start to operate. It's now fully constructed, but hopefully within the next years or couple of years, you'll be able to ride along Eglinton with this new fantastic, fabulous LRT transit project. And the reason why we started as an organization was because this public investment was going to be impacting many neighborhoods across the city of Toronto. And we knew in these neighborhoods were many Black, Indigenous, racialized people who were living in these neighborhoods. But when we actually looked at the construction sector at the time, we didn't see Black people reflected in these opportunities, in these type of projects in our city. When we looked at the data, I think it was saying 1.2% of registered apprentices were racialized. Imagine 1.2% out of, and these are apprenticeship jobs where a lot of these are unionized. So you have good wages, you have benefits, you have a pension, right? And so we really said, if you're going to be building this project in our communities, we want to make sure that we benefit. That those people who are living in our communities that look like them, we want to make sure we have access to these opportunities, not just seeing, other people come in and take these opportunities and these jobs. And so similar to like places like this, we had meetings along Eglinton in many neighborhoods, including Little Jamaica, talking with residents, talking with businesses, talking with community members, and really taking that momentum to the government to say, before you start building, we want a commitment that you're going to hire from our communities. And so it was really great. It was actually the first time we got a government in Ontario to actually commit to what's called a community benefits agreement. And in this agreement, they made sure that they were going to work with organizations like TCBN in our programs to make sure that we have pathways into these opportunities, whether it's apprenticeships, professional careers, administrative roles, technical roles. And so throughout the years, what we've actually done is we've worked with those companies who are actually building these projects to make sure that they're making aware about when these opportunities are coming up, doing job fairs in the community, doing outreach in the community. If they need training, making sure they're working with us and other partners to do help support with training programs so that people have the certification to be able to work in these projects. One of the other things also that we found out during this journey was that many of the contractors didn't also come from our communities, right? And so those contractors were hiring from their own communities. And so one of the things that, when we asked them, why are you not, why don't we have a Black contractor on this project? They told us we couldn't find any. That was the reasoning, right? And so we didn't want to leave it to them to do that work of finding a Black contractor. And so the idea actually of the Afro Canadian Contractors Association came up, where we said, as a community, we not only want to find who are those contractors from our community and bring them together, but even for those who are interested in starting their own company, how can we support them? Can we train them? Can we give them a capacity so that they feel supported in starting their own companies, if that's also a route that people want to take? And so it's been really great to work with Sefton and, as a Black contractor and growing the Afro Canadian Contractors Association, because now not only are we coming to these big projects with people who are interested in working as an apprentice or a journey person or a professional, but also with contractors, who can also be able to not only get contract opportunities, but also hire back from our own community as well. And so that's some of the work that we're doing with the Afro Canadian Contractors Association. And, I think the really great opportunity that we have now is that, Eglinton was one transit project. Now we have five, right? Across Ontario, I think they're expecting over $100 billion over the next few years. Over the next 10 years, they're going to be spending hundreds of billions of dollars building more transit projects, building more healthcare projects. And this is all money that all taxpayers pay towards. Anytime you purchase something, you're paying tax, it's going towards these investments. But we also want to make sure that our communities are benefiting. And so that's the role that I play with the organization. I do a lot of advocacy. I go to the government and really hold them accountable to make sure that, these companies are reporting how they're hiring, who they're hiring from. And so really making sure that we have these targets and we have these commitments in place. So over the next 10 years, we know that our community is going to benefit, and we increase that number of 1.2%, hopefully to a range that reflects our community equally here in Toronto and across Ontario. The other opportunity is housing. We know that there's a huge need for housing. There's a lot of very ambitious targets, whether it's the federal government, whether it's provincial government, whether it's our municipal government. There's a big focus on building housing in our communities, right? And so those are also another opportunity with the development of housing to get in the industry to help build the homes that we need to house people, across the community, and also people who are continuing to come to Canada, and so that they actually have a home. And so we know there's a huge skilled trades shortage. So really take advantage of the opportunity now where there is demand for people to help to build the infrastructure and housing. And so we have some really great programs at TCBN that my colleague Henry will talk a little bit more about. And when you join TCBN, you're joining a family. We have many events throughout the year. We have opportunities for networking, putting you in front of different companies and contractors, and to put yourself out there, right? And so I'm really happy that I'm here today to meet you all. And I really hope, that you can be part of this family and learn more about some of the work that we do at TCBN and be part of some of the programs that we have to support you. So I'll turn it over to my colleague, Henry. This program, that you were able to learn from grade 9, grade 10, grade 11. And over the years, a lot of those schools started to close down, or they started to close down those technical programs in the schools. But we now know, and what's led to that is that now there's a huge shortage, right? We know that the workforce, from all the data is saying that there's an aging workforce. People are starting to retire, and there's a big gap because, a lot of people didn't have that access to the technical schools. A lot of people were going more towards academic, so going towards universities and colleges. And so now there's a lot of advocacy, and we've been part of that advocacy as well to really push the government to reinvest back in the schools, right? So as kids are as young as possible are learning about the trades, they know the benefits. A lot of these trades jobs are unionized, so they have good jobs, with like living wages, pension benefits, right? And so we want to make sure our communities are also benefiting from those really good jobs so that you can help to sustain the family, especially in a city like Toronto where it's very expensive. And so that's something that we really focus on, is helping the youth get access not to only any job, because we know that a lot of jobs out there that pay minimum wage. We really want to advocate for the good jobs in our communities. We can also access those good opportunities for us.
That's right.
But my colleague Henry will talk a little bit more about our programs and also answer questions about eligibility and stuff like that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumsa. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Henry, and I work for TCBN in the programs department as the next gen program and team up as the union liaison person. And I'm here to talk about having TCBN and be of benefit to you. I'll give a disclaimer that I'm not used to people. Much of the time I speak one-on-one. So maybe this is likely to be a challenge, but I'll pull through. The other one is that accent is not very good. I came to Canada 4 years ago from the central. So I'm still carrying, but I hope you're good.
Yes.
Thank you. So in TCBN, we have different youth academy. And this is a program that we developed a while ago, I think in the course of this year. And the main purpose of this particular program is to make sure that our youth between the age of 16 years, running all the way to 34 years, are able to get into the trades. Because quite a good number of them, they come from families that they have tradespersons. Maybe the father is a carpenter or a plumber, an uncle is this or that. But quite a good number of them are not able to identify exactly what they want to do. I speak to them, and in the morning you speak with one, and he'll tell you that he wants to be a carpenter. When you get all the findings in the evening, when you are calling him or her, they'll tell you that now they want to be a plumber. And you ask them, why the change, of mind in the course of hours or in the course of a day or two? And they'll say, oh, I talked to a friend of mine, who told me that, plumbers get more money than carpenters, which is a good thing. We all work for gain. So in this particular program, we really want to take the youth through different, through different trades in the program, and also try and give them that, feel of what, does it consist or what does it entail to be a carpenter. Learn it and see it by hand and even have a feel. We have partnered with Habitat for Humanity, GTA, so that we can be able to take our patients, especially these youths, into different sites where Habitat for Humanity, GTA, is having construction work, so that they can have a deeper feeling and a deeper knowledge of, construction, all the different scope. What is excavation? What is framing? What is insulation? What is drywalling? So that at least within that particular program, they'll be able to know exactly what they want to do in future. Then again, there is a person who raised about, the issue of AI. And we are very particular in TCBN when we are directing our people and our member participants into that. And I'm sure you all know how, the world is evolving, and everything now is artificial intelligence. With the skills, be assured that you get a job every day. If you happen and look at this particular facility, all this work has been done by different tradespeople. We have a HVAC person, we have a flooring person, we have a sheet metal person, we have a finished carpenter. All this work has been done by tradespeople. Even if artificial intelligence was to overtake the trades, it will take the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. That is why we are saying skill trades is the way. So if you're a parent here, you have your children, you have a nephew, you have a niece, you have, a youth that in your household, in your family, in your community, let them know about this particular program that we call the, Next Gen Black Youth Academy. You'll be able to learn. It's virtual. We usually have different trades people who come and facilitate and take them through the session in different trades. They get an opportunity to ask all the questions and they will be guided better. After that, Habitat for Humanity GTA is giving them opportunities for volunteer hours. At their own free time, they can be able to go to these sites and they can be able to take part. May it be site cleaning, may it be, helping out, the tradespeople or the journey persons who are doing the work, and they get recognition for the said hours. Then I'll go to the other one called the Employer Portal. And this is touching especially on the people who have come to Canada from different parts of, the world. And they hold their qualifications in what we call professional, technical, and these are project managers, these are engineers, architects, quantity surveyors, estimators, name them, site supervisors, as I had quite a good number of people here, the prior knowledge, and especially as site supervisors. So in this particular program, work with a different number of companies, and these companies are hiring or they are sharing, the jobs that they have. They advertise their job through our portal so that we can be able to tap. Because quite a good number of people will come with a lot of knowledge, especially a lot of people from Africa come with qualifications, with master's degree in engineering. When they get here, the first thing that they face is that your experience is not Canadian. You don't have Canadian experience. So we are trying to work with a number of contractors, starting with the big ones, likes of Ellisdon, Mosaic, so that they can also be able to offer internship opportunities. So that if you come with your qualifications, we can place you with any of those companies, wherever you are there. TCBN is able to provide at least a pay. It might be minimum wage. At times it can be as low as $18, but at least it will help you survive. It will help you, carry around for the 12 months, for the 12, which is the 3 months. In between that particular time, you'll be able to gain the knowledge. You'll be able to be attached to a person, go to a site, get to know exactly how, things work out. And if you're good enough, don't be surprised if you are retained by the company. We have seen it work. Place 10 people, 4, 5, are retained and they get employed. So it works wonders. Get into the program. Keep on checking from time to time. We work with big companies, including the TTC. From time to time, they are there now to get a job that matches and the experience needed, whether back from home. TCBN is there to help you maybe polish up your resume or make your resume to suit that job that is being advertised. help you polish up, your skills or your knowledge in interviewing. It will prep you for an interview, and most likely you'll get the job. Even if much of the time you don't get the job on the first instance, that particular opportunity of being called for an interview and maybe a second one, you learn a thing or two, and it makes you better when you're going for the second one. And then lastly, we have a mentorship program. And this is very key, and especially to our newcomers, because it gives an opportunity for those to get into the trades. That is where I belong, and that is what I do on a daily basis.